Let's talk about optimization of the Verse Lab as well. I think this is something that gets missed um, when it comes to Verse Lab and its versatility. The MV-1 is essentially a production unit with a tone generator as well. Once again, it's not a synthesizer. It's a tone generator of editing features for you to customize tones, but not for you to create tones, right? So when people ask for the features of the 101 on here, that just shows they don't really understand what Roland's aim is with this. So the one thing I don't like about it is, once again, not enough MIDI I/O track. But I think that part is lacking. It's oversimplified. So more on that in a minute. I think it's oversimplified because you can't see it. So at least on the MVs, you can see the take lanes on the screen here or on the monitor. You can see the audio tracks in linear fashion as well. But on here, you just have to kind of understand that this is where you are. This is where the signal's coming in at from the external, and it's always there, and you can control it via the system button. You can control what comes in the inputs and how much gain it has and all that good stuff, right? But there's no visual monitoring of it and applying of a separate EQ and all that stuff on the outside of the screen. So that being said, and the fact that its flagship feature is not the sampler, right? It's not. It can sample, and it has a simple sampler on there that you can use for kits and also a looper. Okay, cool. And that's what you have to take in consideration. Now, with all that being said, I think the perfect mate for the Verse Lab is a workstation. Not a, Either a workstation that leads towards being a sequencer and synthesizer, like the Phantoms or the montages and all that stuff, or more something like the older workstations like the Phantom X that I got it paired with now. But I really think it would go well with the Akai MPC Key 61. I think would be the perfect way to optimize the MV because you add a needed keyboard bed to play melodic stuff on, which is why I got it hooked up with the Phantom now. Sounds and synthesizer capability that your chosen keyboard brings to you. So in my case, it's the Phantom. It has a great arpeggiator on it where you can make a bunch of preset arpeggiated tones. It has a very ample synthesizer with real-time control effects and a D-beam. And it has a decent sequencer and a good sampler on it. You bring all that and you add it to the MV's actual overall capabilities, and that's the way you optimize the MV. Now, that being said, it's priced to where you can add any of that stuff to it. It's just you can only use them daisy chained or one instrument at a time. And I think that is the knock on it, and that's what I don't like about it. I don't like the fact that you cannot use more than maybe one real piece of gear with that. You know what I mean? If you're a guitar player, you can jack a guitar into the vocal take lane. I mean, that gives you that instrument. But other than that, you really are kind of restricted with this. And I think it's still cool, but the way to optimize it is to do what I just told you just then and get you a nice little workstation, pair it permanently with the MV, and maximize the strengths of the two. Now, check this out. The way they got it mapped out to go with Zenbeats. This is the hybrid part of the optimization of the MV. Lots of us seemingly tend to shy away from using this with the software, and then when we hook up the Zenbeats, we're wanting it to do something that it's not designed to do. So this is exactly what it's designed to do. It's designed to hook directly up to the Zenbeats app or on the computer screen. And if you have it already formatted in song mode, you set the tempo in the Zenbeats, and then you go running. Check it out. So what you're looking at right now is the screen from Zenbeats, right? So this is a song that I actually put in song mode, and then turned around and loaded the stems in song format to Zenbeats. And And as you can see, I got the metering. So one thing I want to point out is one of the bigger complaints is, well, it's not fully integrated with Zenbeats, and it is not. You won't be able to control the insides of the MV and monitor it on Zenbeats, and neither will you be able to control the main elements of Zenbeats, the effects and stuff like that, from the MV-1 Verse Lab. It's not that integrated. However, pulling up the Verse Lab editor really helps at the arrangement stage to make your creative flow work so much faster and more intuitively. And the Zenbeats format is apparently designated. If you look at the bottom row, where all the red buttons that I got armed, those are all stems coming from the MV-1 Verse Lab, as you can see with the metering. So when you close the Verse Lab editor and you open up a program, or I'm sorry, if you open up a folder, a song, and you line it up with your MV, you do get the metering. You know what I mean? In preparation for you to, of course, dump the stems inside the Zenbeats, which is what I would do anyway. This entire song right here is dumped into Zenbeats. It's been recorded, as you can see up here. Right here, if I make that larger, you would be able to see the all the tracks that I actually have. But yeah, man, I think that is enough for now. It is a big complaint, but I don't see why. So let me put this out for you. Let me get this situated. So now I switch projects, right? And get you the whole screen. I follow the pointer. As you can see down here are tracks for the vocal take lane as well as the external MV, right? This right here, my friend, this last meter is coming from the Roland Phantom, just the external inputs. So as you can see, you have the ability to dump everything into your Zenbeats straight from the MV-1 Verse Lab. Mind you, you could also use the Verse Lab editor to mix and arrange the track prior to doing that. So you get a clean recording of everything that you have in the Verse Lab, including what's coming in on the audio inputs down on this end. So that is definitely an MV trademark, to have such a forward-thinking protocol already in place. As I said before, the MV-8000 had the same protocol baked in. This right here proves that, to me, the integration is fine. It's not full, but as you can see, I can use my mouse, which, once again, coming from an MV, I love to use one hand on the mouse and the other one on the actual unit for tactile control. It is basically the basis and the point of having a hybridized workflow. And the hybridized workflow has so many advantages. I mean, for one, let's take away the fact that this over here, let's say that this over here is actually the MV-8000 and what I have baked into the MV-8000. Then I'm basically being able to port over everything from the MV into the MV-1 and into Zenbeats. And as you can see, once you hit Zenbeats, okay, hold on. Let me see. As you see down there right here, you have the option to save this to OneDrive. Google Drive, OneDrive, and the Microsoft option. So you have a chance to export these stems or export this project via a cloud save source, which is pretty good. which is pretty good. I think that is a worthwhile hybridized workflow because it quickens things. It makes you go ahead and upload things. So I can either upload these stems to a person on the other end, or I could just simply download those same stems and bring them back into like my Sonar DAW and load them track for track, stem for stem, and then throw an SSL plugin on them as well, which would be, that's what I would do. But yeah, man, this is the MV part of the Verse Lab, and I think it's pretty cool, man. I'm not one of the ones who have to work a certain way, and I think this is the advantage of the MV creative flow, is that it pulls you in a hybrid direction, to go hardware tactile, but still have a connectivity to modern production methods and kits. You know what I mean? Because now that you got the MV-8000, the Phantom inside the Zenbeats DAW, I don't even need the MV to work on it. I can work on that thing. It's cross-platform. I can work on it on my phone, on my MacBook Pro, on my laptop, or on my tablet. All three seamlessly